Now you coming. Now you coming to my neck of the woods. Now you coming to Switzerland, where I played 3 seasons. That obviously I root for Helvetic. Those that follow the channel.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this: one, have you ever been to Switzerland? Two, what sold you on the opportunity to go to Switzerland?
Well, I've been to Switzerland a couple times actually. So I went there one time when I was in Cologne. I went there, and then another time I visited while I was in Berlin. So I've went a couple times. Just it's really a nice country. Scenery wise, and I think that's the main thing. And then as far as Helvetic, with for me, with me getting a little bit older and stuff, I just respected the how stern and how they were trying to make an offer that was like acceptable for my life, and trying to get me set up for life after football, for me, because that's where it's most important now that I've gotten a bit older. I'm looking at what I want to be doing 2 3 5 years from now. I'm not saying that, and I think I have a lot of football left. Don't get it twisted, but like for me, the main thing is like life after football, and as far as the setup and the deal, that I was, I agreed upon was, it made sense. Not saying that other places it didn't, but as far as, for my life and where I was trying to go with it, and because I had everything set up in Berlin, I, I was supposed to start a job in October, but came back home and just said I can just postpone and start in January. So I had a lot of, and I was going to go back. I had everything set up to go back, but just kind of due to the situation, with how the coaches and some of the management things that kind of took place in Berlin after the season, I just felt like, it'd probably be best for me to explore other options, for my future, So that was the main thing, and the deal just made sense. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's different from obviously playing the seas where it's more so like year to year, unless you're someone that signs like a multi year deal versus playing from obviously in America like we did. You kind of got more control and say and, create direction where you want to go whenever you're negotiating these contracts.
yeah,
So I definitely hear you on that part. Listen, if I could find a way, I will go back to Europe yesterday if I could find a way. So I definitely hear you in that, and I want to go back and chop it up about that part too. But what I want to talk about is obviously Helvetic things are documented in terms of like the first 2 years and the performance of the team and all that stuff. We've had a couple of owners, whatever. Seems like Sandro and the guys are really trying to focus on moving forward, putting the past behind, and obviously just creating a better future for Helvetic going forward. And obviously, with you believing in that process and coming on to joining the plan says a lot. Right.
mm,
What's your relationship with head coach Marcus? Obviously, I'm sure you've had talk with him. What's your relationship with him thus far? Have you guys worked together in the past? Is this gonna be your first time working together? What kind of that you can share? What kind of conversations were you guys able to talk about?
Well, I mean, obviously, we had some conversations, prior to me signing and everything, but I knew that he was in Berlin while I was before I got there. So when I was in Cologne, so, I did my homework, and I've made some conversations with people that I've gotten close to with in Berlin, and different coaches and some of his players that played with him in Hildesheim I've actually known. So, I made sure, I cover my bases, but the conversations that we've had, it just it put me at ease about the organization as a whole, the direction that they were trying to go in, and if he believed in it and he believed in me, so I said, why not believe in him and the organization, because like for me, time is of essence, so I wanted to focus and hone in on that. And it wasn't a hard decision, but for me, that's why you see me sign pretty early on, I guess you can say, because I don't like the waiting game. I don't like to go back and forth. It's more
Yeah.
so you take care of me, I take care of you. I'm pretty simple in that aspect. And the conversations, like I said, that I've had with him were extensive, and they were more personable. So I was able to be relatable and understand his mindset. And I think we have the like mindset as far as what we're trying to accomplish. As far as with playing and goes off the field and character wise, mentality. So all of that, checked the box. So it was an easier decision for me to make.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on Swiss talent? Because obviously,
Swiss talent, I mean,
when you think about the ELF, homegrowns are the foundation of obviously every ELF team.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Swiss talent from what you've seen?
For what I've seen, I mean, I've watched, some of the games that they've had from last year, and obviously some of the highlights that they've shown. And then all of those players, as far as in European players, are, especially in Switzerland, they have an upside. They have
Yeah.
just like the players that are in Germany and Austria and Sweden. So I think can match on the same scale. I just think they just need to be, exposed and around certain players, that can bring that out of them and they could see and watch and learn from, because that's something that I've always taken pride in is, giving back and being a tool of someone to learn from, so not just with scoring touchdowns, but with doing stuff off the field,
Yeah.
showing them, let's go hit the field and let's work on this route. Let's work on these cone drills. Let's work on the little things, because that'll build camaraderie over time. So I think they have immense amount of talent. It's just the mentality, and they have to be exposed to those that are actually trying to, give them something that they haven't seen before.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when you look at the 3 seasons of Helvetic, whether it's the guards or the mercenaries, there's always been some type of talent that have come through. You think about year one, when we had Silas come through, and
Yeah.
obviously Ken Hike took a chance, ended up coming back for a second year.
Mm-hmm.
Second year, you got Messio Beard that came into play.
Yeah.
I always had a good style defense with some of the homegrowns. John
Mm-hmm.
Falk, top 15 player in the league. Tim Haney, so on and so forth. And then this past year, we always find some type of talent. We end up getting defensive rookie of the year and overall rookie of the year and Milan
Mm-hmm.
Spiller, right? So there's talent out there. You just mentioned that they need that exposure and that experience, which I believe that they're going to keep growing and keep getting better.
Mm-hmm.